What's going on, guys? It's Mac here from Cryptstar Staking, and in today's video, as promised, I want to talk to you guys about the common drop airdrop. A lot of people are asking questions in the Aleph Zero Discord and asking, am I eligible for the airdrop if I unstake or whatever? So I'm going to just cover some of the basic questions, answer those first, and then after that, I'm going to go in depth as to how sort of the blockchain secret keys, private keys work. So that way you guys can kind of answer your own questions in the future if you want to. Or you can, ask me as well in the comments to the video. Of course, I'll answer you there. I did have a previous video where I explained private keys and how to recover your crypto if you lose your private keys, or if you even can, and also how to go ahead and recover from different chains. So this video I'm going to kind of cover a lot of that same material, but it'll be sort of in a different light under the Aleph Zero sort of umbrella, the DApp umbrella. Let's go ahead and dive right in, everybody. You guys can see here, these are the questions that I've kind of been getting asked a lot of times, especially in the private DMs from you guys. If I have been staking on alephzero.dev, will I get an airdrop? Okay, so Azero.dev is just one of the many interfaces that you can interact with the Aleph Zero blockchain with. And actually, if you use Nova Wallet, that can actually, I think Nova Wallet can't, sorry. If you use, Subwallet, if you use Subwallet, it actually automatically logs into, you can have it automatically log into Azero.dev, so you can put your private keys in Subwallet and interface that way, or you can keep them directly on Azero.dev. But in the end, if you own the private keys, that's the 12-word mnemonic key to own your account, then and you're staking for a certain amount of time, which we'll go over later in the video, then you are eligible for the airdrop, and at least one of the future airdrops. Because right now, you're definitely eligible for the, I think the phrase one airdrop after the sort of semi-OG airdrop that's coming first. So let's go to the next question here. I've been staking but switched validators recently. Will both amounts be allocated in the get common airdrop? Now with staking, as long as you didn't switch pools, because when you switch a pool and you have less than 2,000 Azero and you switch a pool, then you actually have to unstake and then restake. So you lose 14 days unstaking, and then if you restake right after that, you will still lose those 14 days of rewards. Okay? But if you're actually staking to a validator and then you just switch validators, you're actually staked the whole time. So you don't have to worry about losing your rewards if you're still technically staked to a validator. Now, if you unstake that stash, which would be 2,000 or more Aleph Zero, then you'll actually not be eligible for that reward anymore because you lose those 14 days. Looking at the documentation, it looks like if you unstake at all, you unstake everything, then you lose the whole reward. So I wouldn't unstake at all during the time period. It's definitely not worth the risk. Let's go ahead and talk about the next, the sort of airdrop itself here. There we go. Common drops are coming, and here how the rewards break down. So the launch of the common automated market maker marks an important milestone for the Aleph Zero ecosystem, and that's just the beginning. So there's going to be multiple airdrops for this, and you can kind of see down here, let's scroll down to where the airdrops, what the airdrops are about. Oops. So the intro airdrop, or where the fun begins. So the intro airdrop, during the Commons mainnet launch, the intro airdrop will be distributed. This is like basically day one or the first week of common airdrop, I'm guessing. Reading this, that's what it seems like. So if you're eligible and you've been staking Azero at any time over the last 6 months, and you've also been staking at the time of the launch, your reward is calculated based on your effective stake. Here are two examples that will give you an idea of how the intro drop and other drops based on the effective stake work. For simplicity, we're assuming that the staked rewards are not compounded. So case A, a user stakes the same amount of Azero 6 months before the intro airdrop. So stake 10,000 Azero, period stake, 6 months, full 182 days, effective stake, 10,000 Azero, intro drop, 20,000 common staking drops. Case B, a user stakes 10,000 Azero initially, but then unstakes Azero after 100 days. So this means you've gone the whole 6 months, and then, but you unstakes, that means that you're gonna lose that 3,000. You need to make sure that you have the full amount staked by the time common launches. That's actually the most important. So as long as you have 2,000 staked, or if you're staking to, like a validator, or you're staking to a pool, as long as you have like a certain amount staked, and then you go ahead and don't unstake it all. But if you staked like halfway through, like 3 months ago, it looks like they're going to give you a ratio of that. So say you staked for 90 days, which is about half the time, then you're going to get half of the rewards here. unless you went ahead and unstaked 30% of that like they did here in case B. So for case B, the user stakes 10,000 Aleph Zero initially, but unstakes 3,000 after 100 days. Like I said, you will actually lose that 3,000 at the final snapshot. So you just want to make sure you have the full amount staked at the final snapshot, which looks like it's going to be at the common mainnet launch, which is on the 23rd, I believe. So you need to make sure you just staked all the way up until the 23rd. So for example, I staked like a couple thousand Azero, I think like 2 months ago. So I'll be receiving probably the 2 months worth of the airdrop. The next part is where it gets kind of juicy, because now that we're going into Alephoria, yes, Alephoria is the marketing campaign, which it makes sense they start the marketing campaign when they have all these dApps launching, which I think it's going to make users can come in and actually do stuff, right? That's really cool. So the season 1 to 4 and the entire common staking drops rewards schedule. So there are different rewards rates according to your amount staked Azero, and they break down as follows. The intro drop, so we just talked about that. Round 1, which starts at the mainnet launch for 6 weeks, 1 drop per Azero. Now this is kind of reminds me of their sort of testnet node validator program. So you're getting an airdrop if you're running the testnet and you're running a mainnet node. It's kind of similar to that. You get 1 drop per Azero. So make sure you just keep staking. I would basically, looks like you just keep staking for all 3 rounds. 4 here, if you look at round 4, it's actually 3 drops per Azero. So it's definitely good to stay for round 1, round 2, round 3, but this means that even newcomers to Aleph Zero can make a crap ton of of common drops if they go ahead and stake even just for round 4. So it's really the most important to make sure you go ahead and stake through this round 4, which is actually 18 weeks, which is a huge airdrop. So I think the point of this whole thing, just so you guys know, is you have 6 plus 6 plus 6 rounds, right? That's 6 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 weeks. That is about, sorry, my math is horrible, 18 weeks. What is that? 4 or 5 months. And then they'll have the round 4. So make sure you guys just stake for the next 4 or 5 months after the common release, which I guess would be probably up until, you know, the October timeframe. Maybe then you can keep staking, of course, but that's basically when the airdrops are going to be applicable. Personally, I think they should probably make a longer staking, like a really long-term one. Besides this, that would be kind of cool just to keep the fun going, but that's just my personal opinion. So all drops are calculated based on your effective stake of Azero with different frames according to the above scheduled. Notice that round 4 lasts for 18 weeks and begin after round 1 concludes. Oh, sorry. So this round 4 is actually, my bad, I read this wrong. Round 4 is actually included here during round 2 and round 3. So round 4 is actually this whole time. So yeah, it runs a little bit longer than round 3, it looks like. And then after that, yeah, so it'll actually run until, yeah, probably about September or October timeframe. But your common drops will be redeemable for common after the TGE, the token generation event. That's what that stands for. The redeem ratios for all common will be revealed after round 4 concludes. So basically you're collecting drops, and then those drops will be changed for the common token when common is launched. So wait, there's a bit more, maybe a little bit more than before. There's still the OG drop and the mysterious lucky drop. So it sounds like they're going to do some lucky drops and some OG drops. So if I were you, if you really want to make the most of these airdrops, make sure you guys go ahead and use the common testnet while it's still there. You still have a few weeks left. I'm going to do that right after this video. Then make sure you guys go to the Zeely board, because I'm sure there's going to be something for Zeely board people who have points. Make sure that you guys use the Zeely board, do as many quests as you can. It's a great time. There's not a lot of competition right now because a lot of people got tired of Zeely, but I think the people who actually stuck with it are going to be rewarded in the end. So definitely worth it to go ahead and take a look at Zeely and also mess around with the testnet. It's completely free, just takes a bit of time. Plus you can learn how to use testnet tokens. Now, here comes the really juicy bit of information. So go ahead and stay tuned, guys. This is really important. I want to talk to you guys about how the different wallets go ahead and get the airdrops. So if you stake on an exchange, for example, you can't stake on an exchange right now, I don't think, for Aleph Zero. But if you stake on an exchange, you cannot get the airdrop. That airdrop, the private keys are owned by the exchange, so you cannot get the airdrop. But I will show you kind of how the private keys work with Aleph Zero. It's kind of confusing. This is really important information, even for you OG Aleph Zero people out there. You might not know this tidbit of information, but This is actually how the private keys are derived. And basically, you make a 12-word phrase, and that 12-word phrase, you can actually make it up yourself as long as it matches the sort of, what do you call it, the mechanism that allows you to make a 12-word passphrase. It's there's a mnemonic code creator you can create on a different website, and you can actually download it and then make your own offline and not even use this online tool, which is actually the more secure way to do it. But these 12 words here, they are very important. You don't want to lose these. But these 12 words are actually interoperable between Nova wallets, sub wallets, Azero.dev. They're not interoperable with Ledger, but hear me out. Ledger, I'm going to explain this part. So all those three apps, Nova, Azero.dev, and sub wallet. Sorry, I'm trying to think of the last one. They're going to hate me. The one with the little, not MetaMask. Yeah, anyways. They will use the same path. And the path is like a /00/12/something. And those, they all use the same path. The issue with Ledger is that it uses a separate path. And I've actually reached out to Zondex, the creators of the Aleph Zero Ledger app, to get the path so that way you could use that right here. And then you could actually basically use your 12 words from your Ledger and then put the path right here. And then you could actually get the exact same address from your Ledger, which means if you wanted to stake from your Ledger, like 12 months ago, and you knew this path, then you could have just inputted the private keys for a while. Then once the Ledger app actually came out, you just delete your private keys completely, and then then you just use your Ledger to stake and unstake. But that is the only reason Ledger is different from the other wallets, is because this path is separate. But it's actually still, you still own the private keys. They're just, the mother is your Ledger device, and the Ledger device basically owns all the private keys of all the blockchains that are blockchain apps that are on it. So that's kind of how that works. It's this path that's very important, and the type of path that it has. I think Ledger uses Edwards, and you just got to know the path. But I looked at the code from Zondex, and I think it's Zondex. Sorry if I slaughtered the name, but I asked for the path, and they gave it to me, but it just wasn't working via the CLI when I was trying to figure it out. So I just kind of gave up and figured out a different way to, get my problem fixed. But this is how it works. So do not be afraid. If you staked, 4 weeks ago, you'll still get the round 1 airdrop, because you get the 20. Just say 4 weeks ago. So yeah, 4 times 7, 28. So 28 days ago, right? Then you got that 28 days, which is, I think, what is that, 1/6 of the full airdrop for round 1. Still pretty good. I think that's 28. Well, it depends on how much you staked, but 1 drop per Azero, right? So that's how this all works. I hope that really explained it to you guys. Of course, if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and leave a question in the comment. Either hit me up on Twitter, or if you go ahead and DM me on Telegram, that's fine. I do kind of block some people if it looks kind of shady, so just be aware. If you do have a genuine question, feel free to reach out. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And of course, remember, we do have a nice validator for you guys for Aleph Zero as well as Tezos. So if you want to stake to our validator, it's much appreciated. We have the Cryptstar validator node, and all of your support, as always, is greatly appreciated. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, everybody.